Wednesday. I don't know. I was trying to think of something that would start with a W. Woman Wednesday. I mean, we just did have International Women's Day a few days ago.
Wild Wednesday.
Wild Wednesday. You have no daughters, right?
No.
And all sons, and because we were just talking before this. So Carlos had posted a thing. This isn't on the thing. Whatever, Kalia. Wednesday. There we go. Yes. I didn't put this on our topics list, but I just was thinking about it when you had posted a thing about, you were like, let me make it clear, not an R. Kelly fan, but you can't look past all that shit, right? And then some of it's just so weird, like the people that are commenting on. There was one dude that is going back and forth and trying to give different reasons why he still will listen to R. Kelly and this and that. And I just clicked on the dude's profile, and he has in his thing veteran, fraternity this, and then at the very end, feminist. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting take on his feminist views, I guess.
Because then I'd have to question what is his interpretation of being a feminist? Like, does he know the definition of being a feminist? Because you can't be that and still rock with R. Kelly as hard as these motherfuckers do.
Kalia said, I saw that too. I wanted to say something so bad. That's funny, Kalia, because I started to type something and then I was just like, nah, I'll it's
because here's how I got into it. I led a lot of topics, like you said, a lot of topics we see. We just like, man, I'm not finna say nothing on this. But that's just one topic that gets me damn near every time because I'm so sick and tired of seeing it. Like, this man is in prison. Let that man be in jail or prison. I don't think he's gotten sentenced to actually sentenced yet, but he's definitely in jail. It's going to be there for a long time. And yet people fail to understand the gravity of the situation, and they just refuse to be like, you know what, I'm going to wash my hands of him. Let me go support somebody who's actually out here in the free world that's not abusing women and children. I don't know how we get past that. What does it have to do with love and black and white? It boils down to the fact of respecting women and children. I don't know how else to put this.
Yeah.
So weird to me.
By the way, Kalia, I just got the alert. Kalia, fucking, what the fuck is this filter, Kalia?
Why?
Did you see it?
Yes. Why, Kalia? Why? You got nothing else to do today.
Why?
You should be packing for Boston.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we can mention that, yes, this weekend, all of us are in Boston. Myself, Carlos Anthony, Kalia McNeil, and Todd Royce at Big RJ and Friend Show at Laugh Boston, Friday and Saturday this weekend. Kalia said, stay off your phone and get to work. Well, I have to look at some of the topics. Kalia, how dare you? So let me get to them.
But yeah, okay. So I mean, ultimately, it's a dumb argument from anybody who still supports that man. You can't be a feminist, you can't say you support women, you can't say you support children, or the not abusing either one, and then go back and say, oh well, shit, I'm cool with him. No, I'm cool with that. That makes perfect sense. You can't be on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, I'm bringing up that clip that you have on there. Let me open this up and we can share it. Oh, Jesus. I just got a new laptop, so I'm like fucking...
Man, all kinds of shit going on today. What's happening here?
What the fuck is going on?
I'm trying to see what that feels like.
What's going on here? All right. The link
right, you pulling that up? Yeah, Kalia said totally agree, and I don't want to hear the separate the art nonsense. You can't separate the art when music is literally an expression of what's within, and that's 100%. He used his music to lure them in, and that was the selling point, and then he abused them. So you ain't no separating the man from the art. Stop the bullshit, people. Stop the bullshit.
Can't separate the rape from the politics either, apparently.
No. Well, that too.
Fucking,
there you go.
All right, let me share the screen. I got it up here.
Mhm.
Okay, and this is let me see. Present. Share screen. Oh god, Jesus, this is fucking. Let me do the fucking thing. All right. Allow God. Later. Okay. And
I feel like we should have a musical interlude or something while this is
okay, you got it.
Yep, there we go.
Oh, I've seen this clip, but I'm gonna play it. And everybody, here you go.
Hey, what are you doing? I came out to check on you.
Huh?
What are you doing? Thought you were working.
I'm looking at this.
What is it?
It's wire. It's a spool of wire. And I'm almost out of it. Can you see the spool of wire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost out of it.
Okay.
And I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. I bought it like this it's on a piece of a long time ago, but it's like 40 years of my life. It's in the wire that's coming. Does that make sense? This is what's left. Does that make
I'm
sense?
sorry to hear that. It's sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay.
My guy just says one of the most poetic, insightful things he's probably ever said to anyone in his life. And she didn't hear a single word of it. Now, yes, men are very simple creatures. There's also a depth to most men that will never be explored by a lot of their ladies. And it's really hard for me to understand why. Like, why is it when a man takes an opportunity to be vulnerable with you and share his genuine thoughts, feelings, and emotions about something profound that he really cares about, why couldn't she just take that moment to actually listen for a change and build a deeper connection with her mate? All the ladies out there talk about how they want you to talk to them and be open with them and communicate more with them. But what they're missing is that every time he's tried to do that, you have taught him why he shouldn't. If he is punished for being open and honest with you, you're teaching him to never be open.
All right. Thank God that guy was on there through the whole thing.
Right. I hate when they do
And
that.
that fucking music. I was seeing Clea's thing, but yeah, I saw that a while ago. I wish we could see the rest of it. Like, what, after that, did he say anything else or anything? I don't know. It's but it is pretty interesting. Like, yeah, like just reflecting on his. I'm assuming it's part of his job that he's had for 40 years, and that is pretty fucking heavy. That you're like, fuck, this is 40 years is gone, and this is what I have left. And it's just it's just like taking a moment to reflect.
Absolutely. I mean, it's that was an interesting thing, and at first I was like, "Is this a skit?" But then you can add. Well, I'm assuming because of his body language and his facial expressions that it was something he was real moment that he was having. Why that woman was recording at that particular point, I don't know, which is bizarre in itself. But just to hear that man going through that and seeing her or hearing her response, and then obviously the commentary after, it really does point a very direct picture at how we are supposed to be acting as men, especially around our women. Is that you have to always be strong. You always have to hold the manly side of it, and that's fine. But that's a part of it too. What that man just experienced is a part of it too. And so if you're not with somebody that understands that, it makes for a hell of a relationship to be in, because you never feel like you can express yourself, and that's tough. That's tough. I've been there before.
Yeah, I don't know this, so that's why I'm asking. Do you think black men are held to I don't know if it'd be a higher standard or a different standard as far as not like showing emotion or talking on their feelings?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because I believe, from our own history, we were required to be strong. And kind of battle through all of it and then carry your family through it. And so from that perspective, I can see that. but it's as time goes on, it's I forgot you said the black men. I think it's just men in general. I think that men in general are held to that standard of just being the tough guy. You're supposed to be the tough guy. You're supposed to be able to take it. We don't want to see no tears. We don't want to hear how you feel. We don't give a damn about how you feel. It's just be the man. And that's again, that's cool. But part of being a man is for us to be able to express ourselves the way we feel. And like I said, I can speak on that from personal experience because I've been through that a couple of times. One almost had a mini stroke because of it. And so that's tough. It's tough to hold on to that for so long, and your body is breaking down, and you can't express it to anybody because you want to be perceived or seen a certain way. It's hard.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like how I was raised and like because I bounced around a lot growing up. So it's like I had there was time I lived with my mom and my stepdad. There's time I lived with my pops, and then a lot of time I lived with my grandparents. And yeah, it's and I think, you know, as much as like people shit on millennials and this and that, I think that's one thing with the newer generation is I mean, it seems like there's more talk of like expressing your feelings and being okay to be soft, so to speak, which no, that's not the right term, because I don't think being able to express your emotions or show emotion is being soft. It's but being, I guess, more open to that. This younger generation, which I think is good, you know, being able to talk about that. Kalia said, I feel like black men are held to a different set of standards. Same with Latino men. There's an over macho thing going on. That's what I was wondering, Kalia, when I was asking that. Yeah, I'm you know, obviously I've never been a black man, so too bad we couldn't have Tyler on here.
right.
Get another black man.
But to speak to that, I don't think it's being soft at all either. Obviously, right. there are women that think it is soft, and I don't know what their situation is to why they can't understand that. Again, it's a part of life. We should be able to express ourselves just as a woman can, and be able to have that reciprocated back to us, that you're listening to how we feel and what we're going through in that particular moment, because you don't know how that changes the dynamic of our relationship, either with you listening or without you listening. And again, like I said, I've been on both ends of that spectrum, and I can speak for a fact that when you are not heard as a man, that knows when the problems start coming in, and you be like, man, well, fuck this. I'm not just gonna be in this relationship mentally. Once I check out mentally, it's over for me. I've always said that. Once I check out mentally, I am done.
Yeah, 100%. I'm the exact same. And it's interesting too. Like I remember growing up as a kid, when if I would get like an extremely angry about something or frustrated, or if I felt like I couldn't get my point out, I would cry. I would fucking, I remember that as a kid, like it would happen. Like I remember being in fights where I'm like crying because I'm like so fucking, I don't know how to release the emotion, or you know, or in frustrating situations where I would cry and stuff, and it's a trip. But I mean, I think about like, you know, with Angel, I've cried in front of Angel multiple times for different reasons, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like any relationships or dating, if somebody had like an attitude or anything about like, you know, expressing my emotions, which I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And also, I'm also kind of the sense where I would not that I don't give a fuck, but if I like was expressing my emotions, if I'm crying about something, or if I'm trying to tell somebody how I feel and they're discounting it or whatever, kind of like what you say, I get to a point where I'm like, I've always said this, if I feel like somebody's done me wrong, I don't think of like revenge or this or that. I just cut off my emotions, cut off. And like what you said, when you're done, you're done. And what's a trip? It's a trip how like, whether you want to call it trauma or just experiences from your childhood, affect you as an adult. Because, and I recognize this in myself, because like me and my mom, I mean, a lot of that's one of the reasons why I bounced around growing up, because my mom used to like threaten to put me up for adoption or award me to the court and it wasn't like for major shit. It would be like, you didn't vacuum the living room or some shit like that, you know? And so I know it affected me in my dating, because like if I was dating someone and I felt like they did me wrong, I would just cut off to them, which is what I did with my mom when I was living with my grandparents. My mom came and visited, and I was hurt from the relationship with my mom. So she came and visited one time and was in the living room with my grandparents, and we were there for like an hour, and she's talking, they're all talking. I did not say a word to her. And I think my grandfather at one point just said, "Why don't you just leave? He obviously doesn't want to talk to you." But yeah, it's crazy how, like, you know, things that get instilled in your or trauma from your childhood or whatever affects you through life, you know?
And I'm gonna pick up Kalia's comment here. She said, "Gen Z really opened this up. I'm a millennial, and we didn't even go to therapy like that. The only reason I went to therapy as a kid was anger management." Yeah, I mean, it kind of puts on what you just said too, because I mean, people don't talk about it. Like, I don't even do that with my sons. I don't make them. I encourage them to express themselves. They're young boys. We're walking into young manhood. Express yourself, because I want you to be that way. I want you to be able to have that conversation with whomever it is, the way you feel, versus bottling that stuff up. Because again, it tips over. At some point, everybody has a breaking point, and sometimes I don't think people really understand that. And when you do break, and it's out of character, then you're the crazy one, or you're the one that's out of pocket, and that's not fair. It's not fair. And when you've been constantly dealing with something for so long and you cannot express that, it's hard. It is hard, brother.
Yeah, I went to this was when I was living with my mom and my stepdad. We all went to therapy, but I went to the hospital because they thought I had an ulcer. But I remember we went to therapy. I was like family therapy or whatever. I think I was maybe in like 6th grade or something, and I hated it because as a kid, I felt like I'm like, they're paying for the therapy. So, you know, I'm not saying that this was the reality, but this is, as a kid at the time, how I was perceiving things. I was like, I'm not really going to be heard, or nobody's going to really take into account my side, because they're the ones paying the bills. So they're going to want to take their side. You know, and I, to be honest with you, I don't even remember anything of the therapy other than we went to it, and I don't know if it did anything for me. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, and then you know, like my mom and my stepdad were married until my stepdad passed away, and then on the flip side of it, my dad, he was like a whore. He was a man whore. I think he didn't remarry until maybe he was like 50. But you know, him and my mom, I don't ever remember, they weren't together when I had a conscience of it, you know, like I think they got divorced probably when I was like 1. And then my dad was just single for the next, you know, fucking 30, 40 years, whatever. But he was a man whore. And so it was like, it was me growing up, I would get like from my grandparents or my grandmother, like I'd hear from my grandmother, you know, never yell at a woman, and always treat women with respect. And then in my other ear, my dad would be like, never believe a woman when she says she's on the pill, and women will try and get you for money, and watch out for this and that and all this other shit. So yeah, and then he remarried Ida, and was, you know, I mean, he fell in love. It just took him a while till he found that right one, I guess.
It happens. So to cap on this topic here, I think it's important, whoever you're with or whoever you're considering to be in a relationship with, that they allow you to be you. And if that means that you express yourself through words or whatever the case may be outside of abuse, then they should allow you to do that. I'm very conscious of that now. And I think that's probably another reason why I'm so adamant about being single. It's because I don't listen, man. If I can't be me, and when I'm feeling a certain ways, I can't come to you as my partner and have that conversation about how I'm feeling without you downing it or you dismissing it, then yeah, I'm good. I'm definitely good on that. So
do you have an example like of like when this happened to you?
Shit. I mean, when I was married, and she definitely has changed over the years, and she's grown. But it was a lot of the things I was going through in terms of jobs or whatever the case may be, or whatever was going on in my life, and then you try to come talk to her about it. It was like, nah, I really don't want to hear nothing about that. And that's a hard pill to swallow when you're turning to your mate for support. I mean, that's exactly. I don't need you to do anything. I just need you to hear me out so that I can get this out, and then I can move on with my day as the man, because shit is still gonna get done regardless. But I gotta have this moment in order for me to be able to release myself. And if I can't do that, and that shit constantly builds up, then eventually people are gonna start having animosity towards whomever it is that they're going to for that support, and they're not supporting them. And shoot, it's all you're doing is building up animosity, which is an ultimate disaster.
Dude, I saw this video. This lady was talking about her and her husband, and Angel and I kind of we use this, but she was talking about, like they say relationships 50-50, right? And she said, this lady said, sometimes though I'll come home and I only got 20%. And that's when you communicate with your partner, and she said her husband would be like, I got the 80, and it'll float. And so Angel and I mean, we haven't done like the percentage thing, but we will, like, I know if I'm tired or if I had a off day or whatever, and she comes home, and I'll tell her straight up. I'll be like, I'm feeling off today. I'm just, I'm not like mad or sad, but I'm just like, bleh. And I'll tell her though, and it goes back to communicating. I'll tell her, I go, I'm just letting you know. So like, I'm not mad at anything. I'm not mad at you or anything. I'm just having a blah day. Or what I say is what Rodney Dangerfield called it. He said, he called it the heavy. I'm like, I got the heavy today. I'm just fucking, and she'd be like, I get it. She's like, let me know what you want, or if you want to do something or whatever. And vice versa. Like she'll tell me, like, she'll come home, I had a bad day or whatever. Take a bath or whatever. And, but it's, I was going to tell you something else too about with the dating, about, when you were saying, that you were expressing to your wife, and fuck, I forgot it. I lost it. God damn it. The isdom is hitting me.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, it happens to the oldest of you.
Fuck. What was it? God, it was a good one too. I was like, fuck. I know what it was. It was something about my being raised by my grandparents. I think I just lost it again because I saw Crazy Cutie's fucking comment. Hey, Jay and Car, just want to jump in before my class. Hope all is well. Good to see you, Crazy. Fuck. It's something about
really kicked in today.
I know. It'll probably hit me. It's something about my grandparents and having that. No, you're fine, Crazy. About being raised in like kind of that old school, but I can't remember it now. Made me for your oldness.
I'm definitely in that mindset now. Again, I don't want to be that way. I don't want my boys to be that way. You say what's on your mind or what you feel, because you have to release that, and then you can move on with your day.
I remember what it was. Yeah.
I knew if I said that was going to trigger.
When you were talking about expressing yourself to your wife and stuff, it's a I think I'm better at it. I'm better now, but I still probably have some residual. So when I was living with my grandparents, and my grandparents will always stress about their grandkids no matter what. Parents do too, obviously. But so anytime I had a problem, whatever the problem may be, whether it's a personal thing or school or whatever, I would never tell my grandmother about it until I had already had a resolution, because I didn't want her to stress. So like if I was, let's say I'm doing bad in fucking math, I wouldn't tell her until I already had got my grades back up. This is the only example I'm thinking of, but this never happened. But this would be like an example of it where, I would say like, hey grandma, just so you know, I was having trouble in math, but I got my grades back up. I'm good. So, I would like internalize stuff, I think that's what the kids say, is I would internalize it, and I wouldn't talk about anything until I had a resolution for it. So I may, at times I may hold shit for months, because it may take months till I get whatever the issue is that I'm having problems with resolved. And I think I'm better at it, better now. Like with Angel, I'll tell her, like we just had to talk about something the other day where I think older or like younger me would have probably not said anything until I'd already got it resolved, so it's just interesting though, like again, going back to upbringing and like it might be even a generational thing, like because my grandfather was a cop and was in the World War II, and my pops played pro football, but my dad was pretty laid back, and like he never really like downed on me for like if I was crying about something or whatever. But I also was a giant as like a kid. Like so it's just so interesting to me though, like how your upbringing can affect you, however old you may be.
100%. I definitely internalized a lot, and I probably still do it today. I mean, I don't. Everybody doesn't know my business, and even it's still a lot that I hold on to. But that's just me. But I also am at the stage too where if I have someone that I'm calling my mate, then yeah, I should be able to express myself and not feel a ways about it. You're going to be receptive to what I have to say. And then understand that, shoot, I'm coming from a place of whatever it is, it's going to get handled as the man. I'm going to handle it, but I just got to go through this moment. And I'm expressing that to you for your support. That's all.
And that I think also ties back into that video where she asked him what he was tripping off of, so to speak, or whatever. And sometimes, just like you just said right now, sometimes you just need to get it out. You're not asking, you're not telling somebody your issues because you want them to resolve it or give an answer. Right. You're just like, I just need to express this, get it out so it's not bottled up. Like my old martial arts instructor, Cijo DeMille, rest in peace, Cijo. He had a degree in psychology, and he always he would tell us like, like let's say you have a friend or maybe a mate, and you're having a good day or whatever. And then they'll come and they're like, man, I've just been stressed and this and that. And you're like, oh, well, what's up? And then they pour all their stuff into you. And now your cup is full with all their stress and their anger and this and that. And then they leave and now they feel great because they got out of their system and now you have it. You're like, well, fuck, now I got to go tell somebody about your problems because I'm fucking carrying it around. Yeah. Yeah. But it's, sometimes you just want an ear. And also, I don't know about for you, but sometimes me talking it out, just saying it, kind of like with working out bits, like just talking it out, I can like, oh, fuck, okay, I didn't think about this. As I'm saying it, this might be a resolution. Let me see this. Crazy Cutie, do you want to read it?
Yeah, so you guys talking about the video where the guy had the spool of copper or whatever, and he was reminiscing over having it 15 years and all the things he built with it. I think it was wire, and he was talking about he had it for 40 years. It had it 40 years, and it just was representing how long and how much has happened essentially in that 40 years. And she was like, yeah, well, what about the hat?
Yeah, I know. She's but and by the way, we're gonna do a short one today, Crazy, and it's on me, not Carlos. I make sure Carlos doesn't get blamed for it. Boo!
No,
fucking boo. we can actually, and we can come back to this next week when we get back from Boston, which we'll be at this weekend at Laugh Boston. 3 shows, Friday and 2 Saturday, with myself. It's Big Irish Jay and friends, and my friends are Carlos Anthony, Kalia McNeil, and Todd Royce. You can go to bigirishjay.com or laughboston.com for tickets. Kalia said, I cry to Carlos often, but then I ask him how he's doing, so it basically cancels out.
Wow.
That's funny.
You know, Kalia, I don't really have much to say. We're gonna talk when I get off this line though, because I got beef with you anyway.
Ooh.
I'm going to cry to you.
He's going to be like, fucking Jay, 30 minutes. Do you want to plug in? He is, Kalia. He is. I'll give you your flowers here, Carlos, in front of everybody. That's one thing I was telling Angel. But Angel knows, but I was just like, when I speak of you, Carlos, I'm just like, he's just a fucking good dude. I actually was starting to write a joke too about you, where it's pretty much just complimenting how great you are at everything versus me. I'm like, he's went to college. That's why I was asking you where you went to college. And I'm like, he reads books. Dude, I don't think I've ever read a fucking full book in my life. Like in high school, I was cutting corners and finding ways where I would get the cliff notes. I don't think I've ever read a fucking book, but I started to write a joke about like, you ever have a friend where he's just like better at everything?
These are lies.
No, shut up.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, because we got to get into the struggle too, man. Because I'm telling you, this shit is real. It is definitely real. So yeah, we'll get into it next time when you have more time and you don't want to cut our.
And I'll see if Tyler can come on so we can have another black man's perspective of the struggle.
Or not.
All right. Do you want to plug anything other than the Boston shows? You got Dallas Comedy Club coming up.
Yeah, we got Boston coming up. We got Dallas Comedy Club coming up. We got my locals with the Jimmy Kimmels and the LA Comedy Clubs. And then, we're working on a few things. So life is good. Life is definitely good.
Yes, sir. Yes. Oh, the only other thing I'll plug other than the shows this weekend in Boston, if you have any friends or family in Boston, please let them know. My album is coming out on St. Patty's Day this coming Monday. The pre-sales are up right now. You can it's at bigirishjay.com. There's bigirishjay.com/links has a link to the pre-order. And very important, Kalia made the announcement. All bad bitches in Boston come through. I'm so excited. The Boston show is my favorite of the year, not just because of Boston, but it's really because of the and friends part of my show. Is like I love that Carlos and Kalia both have never been to Boston. They've never Kalia, you've never been to Boston, right? I know you haven't performed, you were saying, but yeah, I think you said your sister lived there. But it's just I just love to let them experience Boston and kind of see stuff through my eyes of Boston and all this stuff. So
it's Crispus Attucks. Jesus.
The fuck is Crispus Attucks?
What'd you say?
Time to Google.
What did you just say? Did you say who is Crispus Attucks? You're Googling it right now. Wow.
I thought you were saying Christmas. Crispus Attucks, a sailor of mixed African and indigenous ancestry, died in Boston on March 5th, 1770, after British soldiers fired 2 muskets. I got to read this. I did not know about Crispus Attucks.
He said he thought it was Christmas.
I literally thought like this. I was like, Christmas. Yeah. Ew, good. Ooh, fucking canceled. All right. I'm gonna read up on. That's my homework now. I swear to God, I did not know. I apologize. I did not know. First person killed during the Tea Party massacre. That's fucking interesting. Now I got to read this. I'm not going. I'm out. Come on, you're fucking educating me, so that's fucking good, right? I want to be educated. I want to learn. See, I told you I'm not smart. I fucking don't read books. I can barely read, period. But now I'm going to read up about Crispus Attucks, and then I'm going to fucking tell everybody about him. All right.
We'll be right down there where it happened. So
We can do a walk on the Freedom Trail where Paul Revere fucking did his horse shit. His little the British are coming, supposedly. You know. I don't know. All right. I'm gonna check out now. I'm gonna go read up on Crispus Attucks.
Goodbye.
Crispus Attucks, that's a dope name. All right. Until next week. I love you all. And we'll see you next week and Boston this weekend. Okay, bye. Love you, bye.